I love science fiction. I have ever since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had these dreams of flying amongst the stars and meeting these wild science fiction aliens. For example, one of my favorite scenes is the scene in Star Wars where Obi-Wan and Luke walk into the cantina bar and and you see all these wild and crazy looking aliens walking around. And I've always thought it was interesting. Like, what if like one day human beings were able to actually do something similar and go talk to some of these crazy wild creatures out there? Turns out that this is going to probably remain in the realm of science fiction because it seems that probabilities gathered by scientists have shown that life probably does exist in the galaxy, and there's probably a lot of it. But there's the depressing reality that we probably won't be meeting any of it. Now, there's been data collection and really good hypotheses of what our life in our universe looks like and ideas about how big our universe is and how many Earth-like planets there are out there that have been gathered by scientists throughout the years to answer this question of is there life in our galaxy? But it's also come to the understanding that there's a lot of things preventing us from seeing that life. So today we're going to be talking about why there probably is life in this universe, why you're not going to meet it, and what that means for life on Earth. But obviously, this all has to start somewhere. And before I destroy your childhood dreams of walking into a bar and talking to Greedo, first we have to talk about how likely a life is to occur in our universe at all. So this is actually a question that was asked by a lot of different people, and there's a lot of different studies about it. One of my favorites was a very recent one in a 2020 study by David Kipping, who tried to determine how likely it is for an Earth-like planet to start life. Of course, we don't exactly know how life begun on our planet, but we have a lot of good ideas and a lot of good data. And he determines throughout his study that an Earth-like planet with our kind of structure has a 90% chance to have life grow on it, which is outstanding. That's a huge chance. That means an Earth-like planet has a 90% chance to have life on it. That's incredible. I mean, but how many Earth-like planets are there in our universe? Well, this is discussed in an article by by Overby in 2013 that shared data from a Kepler space program that basically determined that based on the number of Earth-like planets that we observe on a regular basis, that there are probably about 40 billion Earth-like planets in our galaxy alone. So 90% of those have a chance to have life on them, which is incredible. There's probably life everywhere in the galaxy. And you know what? There's probably even intelligent life. There was a man named Frank Drake, and Frank Drake decided to come up with an idea of how much intelligent life there is in the universe. He works with SETI, an organization that tries to communicate with possible aliens by sending out radio frequencies into the universe and listening for radio frequencies that could possibly be from extraterrestrials. And in an article by Williams in 2013, they were discussing the idea of the Drake equation. This is an equation he brought up that basically tries to determine how much life there is that could communicate with us in the universe. And it basically uses a lot of different probabilities, like how likely is life to come on a planet, how likely is that life to be intelligent, how likely is blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. But the idea is at the end of it, you get a number that's the number of intelligent alien civilizations in the universe that could speak to us. And of course, this is an exact science, and it's mostly predictions based on what scientists do know. And a lot of scientists get different answers to the Drake equation, but even optimistic and pessimistic interpretations of the Drake equation come up with really large numbers, like in the tens of thousands sometimes. That's incredible. There's tens of thousands of alien species that we could talk to, possibly in our universe. So where are they? Well, that's when we get into why you're probably not going to be meeting them. And that "where are they" question was actually famously asked by a Mr. Fermi. And in 2018, in an article on that's on SETI's website, they discuss the Fermi paradox. And the Fermi paradox is basically a challenger to the Drake equation that says, why haven't we seen them? Well, there could be reasons. The idea is if the Drake equation is real, we're not seeing them. We're not seeing as many aliens. We're not seeing any alien species because is something called a great barrier. The great filter, actually, sorry. The great filter that prevents us from either talking to these species or that prevents these species from even coming about. This could be a number of things. Either maybe life isn't as common as we think it is. Maybe intelligence is as common as we think it is. Maybe planets get destroyed more often by things like meteors. Maybe there's these doomsday scenarios where they discover nuclear weapons like we did, and instead of like pulling away at the Bay of Pigs, they blew up their planet. Or maybe there's a technology cap. Maybe there is no way to send radio frequencies way out there into space in this level that where it can be read by somebody else. So I honestly think though there's a second more unavoidable answer to this question of why haven't we seen them? And that's because the universe is really, really goddamn big. So, it would honestly take millions of years to communicate with these species with the technology that we have. And I want to show you this diagram that Grossman put together in 2012 that shows the extent of our radio frequencies in our galaxy. So we've been sending out frequency waves into the universe for about 200 years that could be read by an alien civilization if they heard it, and they could respond back. So how far has it gone? Well, on the left, we can obviously see our galaxy, and that little blue dot that you have to zoom in to see on the right is the radius of how far our radio waves have traveled in 200 years. That's not a lot at all. We would never hear back from any of these species because they probably aren't hearing us because our frequencies are they're just not strong enough. They don't travel fast enough, and they're traveling at the speed of light, basically the fastest you can go. So it seems that we would need billions of years to even get to the other edge of the galaxy, and it'd take them the same amount of time to answer back. That's probably why we're not seeing any of these, and don't even get started about flying over there because we can't even fly at the speed of light. So how are we going to get over there? So it's probably unlikely that we're going to hear from any of those aliens, even if they do exist. But you know what? So what? So what, you might say? It doesn't matter into your day-to-day life, and really it doesn't. But it's kind of depressing to think about we are on this lonely little island in the universe, and that we are prevented by all these different things from reaching out to any celestial neighbors that we might have. And they're alone too. And all of us are just alone forever on our little planets, and there's nothing we can do about it. But you know what? Maybe there's a positive side to this. Nature is so big, the universe is so massively and amazingly big that it kind of is a wonder that we can't even get over to any of these places because of just how amazingly big the universe is. And it's really something to awe at. It really is. That nature is way bigger than anything we can ever imagine. And that's incredible, honestly. And now, you know what? Even though I won't be seeing many of these aliens, we can at least sit back and appreciate how massive the universe is. And honestly, all of this might be wrong. As we learn more, this could all change. Maybe there are aliens around here somewhere very close to us. Maybe we can talk to them. Maybe we'll find ways to break that great filter. As it stands now, we're probably not going to see any of these aliens. And it seems stupid, right? It seems like it sucks. And even though this universe is probably teeming with life, you're probably never going to see these aliens. And that's just because life is probably common, because there's so many things blocking us. And like I said, it might be okay because at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to see aliens every day, really. There's so many people that you don't know out there. There's so many amazing places you probably have never gone on our planet, like right here at home. We don't need to really go out. You don't need to go out into the stars to meet new people. You don't need to build rocket ships to go to new and exciting places. We have a whole planet full of experiences that none of us have ever experienced or seen. And while it sucks that I'm probably not going to be hanging out with Greedo, I could be hanging out with an amazing new person tomorrow that I've never even met before that's going to teach me all sorts of things that were alien to me the day before. So maybe it's okay that we won't be meeting anyone on the final frontier because maybe there's still a lot of frontier here left on Earth. Thank you.